What's going on, guys? PlayBox here, and we're back for another Dragon Ball Legends video. In this one, I'm going to be going over some teams that I believe need buffs from this upcoming anniversary. So, a couple days ago, I did a video on the 5 best teams in the current meta right before we're entering the anniversary. And I also mentioned in that video that during these big celebrations like Anniversary Legends Festival, there are huge meta changes that completely shift around what the best units are, what the best teams are, and stuff like that, right? So during these times, they usually drop meta-defining characters, and like I mentioned in like the past 20 videos that I made recently, we know that MUI Goku is going to be dropping soon, so we know that he's gonna be probably meta-defining, right? And just based off him, we can already infer that there's some teams that are already gonna get buffed. We have teams like Universe Survival Saga that's gonna get buffed, God Key that's gonna get buffed, Saiyans, I guess if he buffs it, like UI Saiyan Goku. So those teams are in a good spot, right? Even before MUI Goku drops, God Key, Universe Survival Saga, those teams are already pretty good, right? So they don't really need the buffs. So in this one, we're gonna be focusing on teams that are not the best in the best spots right now. And I feel like these teams definitely deserve love. They definitely deserve some buffs during this anniversary so they become more viable, further increasing the diversity in the game, because that's what we truly want when playing PvP. We don't want to be going up against these same old teams constantly in PvP. Right now, all we're going up against is God Key and Future, back and forth with the occasional LOE, despite LOE being probably the best team in the game, right? So hopefully these teams do get buffed so we can further see some diversity. So I have a couple teams here listed. I have 3 main, maybe 4 main teams that are more of like actual teams that you run in PvP that I feel like should get buffed. And we have some other tags that they don't really usually focus on as much, but I would definitely like to see them get buffed as well. So the first team I have listed here is going to be GT. Now GT, for the past 2 anniversaries, they've actually been buffed twice, actually. So during the 2nd anniversary, they got units such as Omega Shenron, the red one right here actually, and the full power Super Saiyan 4. Now obviously the GT banner was definitely not as good as the super banner or the future banner that dropped alongside, right? The Murzomasu Rage Trunks, right? Those 2 were far better than the other 2, right? This full power Goku, Super Saiyan Full Power Goku, wasn't that great. Omega Shenron was actually pretty good, but he dropped when VB. He dropped the same time VB dropped, and being a red unit during that time was instant death. Like you literally do not run a red unit back then. But since then, and then during the 3rd anniversary, we got of course Gogeta 4. We got Aizen Nova Shenron, who literally did not see any playtime since their release. And then we got an All-Star banner with MajinBlue and Super Saiyan 3 just completely replacing them. So, we've been getting some buffs there. Prior to that anniversary, we were getting some Zenkais over here. But now, the main setup you would be running is Gogeta 4. Omega Shenron probably is your best red unit. And then either between Oob and Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I see more people running Oob. I mean, I'm assuming more people would run Oob because of the endurance support and stuff like that. But Super Saiyan 4 also is a very good option. I see a lot of people underrating him, which is completely ridiculous because after he got his platinum equipment, he actually is pretty solid. And then other than that, you just take a look at this team. They don't have a very solid, they don't have any good purple unit. The Super Saiyan 4 Goku is their best purple unit, but he's not that great anymore. Their best red unit is literally a free-to-play Ultra unit, which, I mean, he's still decent. I'm actually planning on doing a revisit on him soon, but he's still decent, but they could obviously use a new red unit. Green and yellow, they're kind of covered, but even them, they're like nothing crazy compared to their meta units, except Gogeta 4 is still top tier unit. And then you take a look at blue, Super Saiyan 3 Goku's not really used that much. Ice Shenron, yeah, get out of here. You could try to count on Zenkais to potentially revive this team, because I'm looking at the Super Baby 2, who was an absolute annoying unit when he dropped, right? But nowadays with Zenkais, you can't really be too sure. You really can't count on these Zenkais to be the units to kind of revive this team, right? So they literally need a full core, just a full-on color wheel change, ASAP, because they're really not used that much in PvP. So I don't know if they want to continue the team of, you know, GT versus Super for this anniversary. It's definitely possible. A lot of people have been speculating we might get like an LF Omega Shenron, which would be pretty... it would be pretty cool, I guess. I'm not the biggest fan of Omega Shenron, but I know there are a lot of people that are. So an LF version of him would definitely be cool, alongside maybe like a tag Goku and Vegeta Super Saiyan 4. I saw a lot of people, you know, trying to think of like trying to predict some tag Super Saiyan 4s, because that would be actually pretty sick as well. Honestly, like when you look at GT, there aren't many units that could drop that would be actually, you know, somewhat hype. The only units I can think of is like a tag Super Saiyan 4 that can, you know, transform into Gogeta, a Revival Gogeta, transforming versions of these Super Saiyan 4s. We don't have the Oob version of this MajinBlue, because this is MajinBlue fused with MajinBlue, so we don't have the regular Oob. We could also get some EX of the Shadow Dragons, right? There's a bunch of other Shadow Dragons that exist, like Oceanus and stuff like that. I don't even remember the names. You know, LF Super 17 also, Super Baby 2. There's so many LFs they can drop, right? Like Baby, Omega Shenron, and 17 all deserve an LF, that's for sure. A new Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, we definitely need that. I don't even remember this is literally the only Vegeta we have. I don't know why we don't have another one when we already have 3 Gokus, right? So there's a lot of things they can actually still do. Universal Spirit Bump Goku, I mean, that's definitely gonna be an LF at one point. So there's still definitely is some stuff they can release for this team. So we'll just have to wait and see if they actually want to make it for this anniversary or not, right? So let's move on to the next team. The next team is going to be Regeneration. Now this team is I would say is in a decent spot. It's actually not that great anymore. You still have some really good units. Like the best unit in this team by far is this Perfect Cell with the platinum equipment, and that's their last really buff they got, right? But prior to that was just Free to Play 21, who I would say is pretty decent, actually pretty solid, I would say. The Zenkai 21, but she's only there to Zenkai buff to Cell. This Gohan, Revival Gohan, has actually been getting more praise recently. I'm thinking of maybe revisiting him, but I've seen a lot of good things said about him recently, so he's a decent unit. Red Piccolo is actually pretty underrated as well, but when you actually look at, and then you got LF Piccolo, who's also, I would say, still in a decent spot, right? But yeah, when you look at this team, you don't really see any over-the-top strong units except this Perfect Cell. So you can honestly say that they would need a complete revamp, right? Green units, other than this Revival Gohan, there aren't really any good green units left. The Zenkai Buu has completely aged out. Red units, you look at, we just talked about this Fusion Piccolo, fused with Nail Piccolo in Red 21, but they could definitely use a new one. Blue units, their best one would probably be this LF Kid Buu, but even this LF Kid Buu, nothing too crazy anymore. Completely dies in like one combo, but still does some pretty decent damage. And then yellow unit, we have this LF Piccolo and this Demon King Piccolo, but they can use some revamps there. So honestly, other than the Cell, they could use a completely new color wheel. And since we're looking at a Tournament of Power or / Universe Survival Saga team banner for one of them, because for those of you who don't know, the Dragon Ball Legends Twitter did release a hint, a character hint, and it seems like it's going to be a Sparking Tien from the Tournament of Power. I really hope that Tien is actually not a 1% Sparking unit, because what the hell are they thinking? Dropping a Dragon Ball Super Sparking Tien into that literally makes no sense. I really hope he's like a free-to-play unit or something like that. But if it is a Sparking 1%, I mean, it is what it is. But they can easily pair him up with like a tag Piccolo and Gohan from the Tournament of Power when they're fighting off the Namekians. That would be really, really cool. Or even just a regular Piccolo. I would much rather a Piccolo and Gohan. That would be more like appropriate, because that's where they had the most shine on when they're battling together in the Tournament of Power. They don't really have their individual any individual accomplishments during the Tournament of Power, except like Gohan when he fought that one person. But a tag Piccolo and Gohan could definitely be a good good boost for this team, especially if he's a good unit, right? But the only Zenkais in this team that I can see maybe benefiting them, and I say maybe because, like I keep saying, Zenkais are not that great anymore, is maybe this Zamasu here, because he has endurance, and I feel like with the additional Zenkai stats, if they actually give him good Zenkai stats, he'll be like an absolute wall. against Ultra Cow King Goku, but there's also Ultra Gogeta that's gonna be running around, right? So he's a liability there, but as a green unit, there's not really any green unit that can cover for him. I see a lot of people also mentioning that we could potentially get an LF Buhan. Out of all the possible like antagonists that could use an LF, I think my most like wanted one would probably be an LF Buhan. I feel like he never really got a chance to shine as a character in this game because the only units we do have is this Korean one, who was actually pretty good when he dropped, but similarly to his Omega Shenron, he was completely outshined by, or like just destroyed by, Super Vegeta, who was a purple unit and the best unit in the game, and he also had anti-regeneration damage inflicted, so that just completely shut down this Buhan. But he's still a very good unit that just didn't get the time to shine, right? And then the other Buhan we got was a purple one, this free-to-play purple Buhan, who wasn't really that great. He had some good blast damage, but other than that, he wasn't really that great. So if they decide to drop an LF Buhan for the anniversary, that would actually be like really cool, because that was also another team of banner that people would want to see. It's like a MajinBlue type banner, team banner, where we got like an LF Buhan or Revival Goku and Vegeta into Vegito. Like that would be actually so much better than a GT themed banner. But that's just in my opinion, right? So that's what this team needs, right? They can completely use a complete rehaul except for their purple units. So let's move on to the next one. This is probably going to be the final like main tag that I think could use a buff, and it is going to be the Hybrids team. Man, have we come a long way from the Hybrids meta. Would you believe me if I said that Hybrids would need a buff like 4 or 5 months later during their Hybrids meta? Like that would have been insane. But yeah, you definitely heard it here. Like Hybrids, they do need the buff. FSK is not really used that much. Actually, his value has kind of increased a bit, FSK, especially recently with the, of course, Ultra Cow King Goku's release. But dude, they need like all sorts of new units. I don't really see this Trunks being ran on Hybrids that much. It's mainly, I think, this guy, Super Saiyan, Future Gohan, Youth, and honestly, this guy is he's actually pretty solid, but I think the Revival Gohan is used a lot also in the Hybrid Saiyan tag. So even with all these units, I still do think they deserve some love, because you really don't see this team at all. The only person I know that runs this team still is Professor Sensei, who is a Hybrids main, so that's the team he's going to be using. And obviously him being such a skilled player, he's going to be using, he's going to be ranking in the top leaderboards with regardless of what team he runs, right? He just happens to run the Hybrids team. But I think this team is definitely going to be getting a buff soon. I completely forgot this also applies to Regeneration, but I do think that during part 2 of the anniversary or midway through the anniversary, when Dragon Ball Superhero drops, this team in Regen are going to be getting a lot of buffs. Because of course we know that we're going to be getting a new Gohan, we're going to be getting a new Piccolo, it could be even a tag for both of them, a tag Gohan and Piccolo. We're going to be getting probably Gohan's new form, he's probably going to be getting a new form, and most likely the main antagonist of that movie, a lot of people are saying it's going to be Cell, and if it is Cell, he's probably going to have the Regeneration tag. So not only is Piccolo going to be on the Regen team, but as well as the quote-unquote new Cell will probably be on the Regeneration tag as well. So this team actually is looking forward. This team as well as Regeneration are kind of in a good spot in terms of they're going to be getting a good unit. And trust me, they're not going to be making those units trash, right? They want them to be good units. The last time we got a movie and they dropped characters from the movie, guess what? We got Purple Dragon Ball Super Broly, the absolute best unit in the game back then, and easily one of the most, if not sure, the most meta-defining unit that we've ever seen in this game, period, right? So I don't think the units that they're going to drop for the superhero movie will be at that level, but trust me, they're not going to be shit, that's for sure. They're going to be good units. They want them to sell, so they're going to be really good units. So Hybrids and Regen in that aspect, I think they're going to be good to get some buffs. But I also hear a lot of talks of people wanting like a Part 2 Ultra, and that Part 2 Ultra being an Ultimate Gohan. And I would be completely down with an Ultimate Gohan. I feel like similarly to the Buhan, Ultimate Gohan does not get enough love in this game as well. Despite being such a badass form, one of like one of the most fan favorite forms of Gohan, right? Like, dude, the first Ultimate Gohan we got was this green Ultimate Gohan, and he was complete garbage. And then we got this transforming version of him from Dragon Ball Super, and while he was pretty decent, pretty solid on release, he completely aged out and he's garbage now, right? So they could, a part 2 Ultra from Ultimate Gohan would be actually really damn sick. Or even an LF Ultimate Gohan. Just a new version of this Gohan would be, I would love to see that. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this Hybrid Saiyans team. I mean, like I said, with the superhero movie coming out soon, I think they're gonna be getting some pretty good buffs there. So even we could even see a free-to-play Pan if they really want to throw it in. Pan is a hybrid unit, so she's gonna fit in on this team as well. So that'll be pretty sick as well. So these next couple of tags are not really like main tags, but they're still decent tags that you used to be able to run in PvP, but now just you don't see them anywhere, right? So the first one is going to be Rival Universe. Now Rival Universe actually has some decent options, and by decent I only mean like 1 or 2, and that's going to be the Full Power Jiren and God Destruction Topo. And even Topo at that is like, he's nothing crazy anymore. He's still solid, but he's nothing crazy. And Full Power Jiren, he's still pretty good, but also nothing crazy, right? This team just definitely needs a full overhaul. But the thing is, with the upcoming banners for the Universe Survival Saga part of the celebration, I don't think they're going to be Rival Universe units. I think they're just going to be mainly Universe 7 units from the Tournament of Power. And we all know that Rival Universe is literally every single other universe other than Universe 7. So I don't really see them getting buffed too much from the anniversary. We'll just have to wait and see what the other sparking units are. If they decide to throw in like another unit, you know, like a Dispo, Lightspeed Dispo or something like that, that would be pretty cool. But it wouldn't really match the team with it would match the team, but it would be kind of weird, because if they're gonna drop a sparking TN, I don't think they would drop a like Lightspeed Dispo or literally any other universe unit, right? So this team I don't think is gonna be getting a buff anytime soon, unless they actually drop some cool units from the other universes. The next team is Sun Family, and similarly to Hybrids, like, because Hybrids and Sun Family are almost like synonymous. Like, we have Future Gohan, that's the same, that's from Sun Family. We have FSK, Revival Gohan, this Gohan and Piccolo. Like, a lot of these units that you find on the Hybrids team make their way to the Sun Family team, with the exception of like Sword of Hope Trunks, right? So similarly to the Hybrids team, we're gonna be getting like the Gohan I mentioned, Pan is going to be Sun Family, so those units are definitely going to be buffing the Sun Family tag. So that should kind of work out for this team moving forward. The next team I want to talk about is Super Saiyans. Now, I know a lot of people don't want to see this team get any buffs, but I mean, I really don't think they're going to buff this team. Bardock, Ultra Gogeta, Super Vegito, if you want to throw in Future Gohan, or I see a lot of versions with the Super Saiyan Trunks. That's pretty much like the main setup you run into, and you still see this team fairly often, because Ultra Gogeta with Super Saiyan Bardock buffs is literally probably one of the most scariest units you can go up against. But the biggest flaw with Super Saiyans is their lack of defense, their lack of Rising Rush control, and yeah, and the Bardock buffs being inconsistent, right? Like, you can't always reliably rely on his buffs to kick in, so at certain points the damage will seem lackluster, right? So those are obviously the shortcomings of it, but I'm pretty sure not a lot of people want to see this team get buffed. The final team I want to talk about that is like obviously not a main team, but still a pretty solid team, or it used to be a solid team, I guess, is the Girls tag. And I feel like the Girls tag just really doesn't get any buffs at all. It doesn't get any love. I feel like the last truly Z tier unit we did get in this team was Kefla, and then before that was Ribrianne. Ribrianne, when she dropped, was like a top 3 unit in the game, and that was mainly because of her lock-in, because she dropped in a time where there wasn't many lock-in units. I think the only one was Bardock, and then her. So not very many lock-in units, but dude, I don't really see them buffing this team during the anniversary. I can't even think of any units that could drop that would actually buff them. The only unit I can see them drop is a Kefla, or if they want to go Cauliflower, Kale, an actual dual unit, that would be pretty cool. But if they were to ever drop an LF Kefla, because Kefla literally is the only unit I feel like could get an like actually deserves an LF. Android 18 and 17 is also a girls unit. You can see here they had the girls type, but they don't buff the team. But 18 obviously was also another unit that could have got the LF, but she definitely needed to be alongside a 17 to get the LF. They can easily drop like a Krillin and 18 from the Turn of Her Power duo unit because they have some moments there where they're fighting together. But the only LF I see this team ever getting in the future is like a Kefla, man. I don't see them dropping any other type of LF units for this team unless they actually want to drop an LF 21. But that's not going to happen for this anniversary. We'll just have to wait and see whenever they do another collab with fighters. But that's going to be pretty much all the teams I want to go through that, you know, truly deserves a buff. Obviously, the main 3 teams that I expect I want to see get buffs is GT, Regen, and Hybrid Saiyans. But if they do decide to buff the other teams, that's also very good because they need it, right? So definitely drop a comment below letting me know what teams that you would like to see get buffed. I'm interested to see what you guys think. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe because that shit is so important, so don't forget. Other than that, have a great day. See ya.